Okay, here we are working on the 393 Ford Stroker, and I've installed my comp cams and I got my Ford Motorsport hydraulic roller lifters in there, and I thought I'd show you something as a point of interest. So just for fun, I kind of took the lifter. This lifter appears to be near maximum lift, and I went to pull up on it, just see if it would come out, and it won't go past the dog bone here. It's the Ford Motorsport lifter has got a raised collar that prevents that. So who cares? Well, what that means is there is a maximum lobe lift, camshaft lobe lift limit. Exceed that limit and the lifter is going to hit the dog bone. So just for fun here, I think I'm going to set up my dial indicator and we're going to figure out what that maximum lobe lift is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I've got my dial indicator set up where it's actually reacting a little bit against the push rod, as you can see here. So I've actually done this off camera several times. We're going to measure the maximum lobe lift given this setup, and then I'm just going to lift this lifter up here after I get to the maximum lobe lift, and we're going to see how far more lobe lift we get theoretically by me manually lifting it up. That should give us an approximate range or value of what the maximum lobe lift is with the stock Ford dog bone setup. Okay, so I've actually measured lobe lift without the cylinder head on right at the lifter, and the comp cam's lobe lift is supposed to be 0.321 and I got 0.3205. So it's either my setup or that's close enough. So I've done this off camera a couple times. I think we're only going to get with this not hyper precise setup is about 319. So let's do that. So I'm cranking here, starts coming up. So I already know about 319's the most we're going to get with this not ultra precise setup. And that's okay. So we're right around there, see what I mean? Okay, so we're going to get that's about as much as we're going to get. That's pretty close to 0.321 for what we're trying to do. Now I'm just going to lift up on this lifter here and see what the max number is. Okay, so I'm going to lift up till it hits the dog bone, about 0.381. It's hard up against the dog bone. It won't go any further. Okay, so let's do some quick math on 0.381. 0.381 times 1.6. So that's 0.601. 0.6096. So that's a lot of lift for probably a factory setup, meaning the factory dog bone. And most people probably don't have a problem. So I guess the upshot is if you got more than 0.6 inch lift and you're using the Ford Motorsport lifter with the factory dog bone, you should probably run this measurement and make sure you're not hitting that dog bone. Okay, take care, fellas. Okay, quick addendum video on the collar on the Ford Motorsport lifter that's hitting the dog bone or limiting its travel. So let's pull up. You can see that? That's pretty much it. So thought I'd get a little close up there and see if that helps. Okay, take care, fellas.
Okay, just a few specifics here at the end of the video. You saw the standard Ford Performance hydraulic roller lifters, the part number, and this is the Ford Motorsport part number, but it's really just the stock tie bars and retainer plate. Here's the collar on the lifter. All these part numbers are in the intro screen. So just let's establish here what I did. So the camshaft I'm using is this comp cam, this 264. The one Freiberger says is a no cam at all if you watch Engine Masters, although this cam will produce more than 1 horsepower per cubic inch, so I think it's a pretty good cam. But so what I did here is I measured camshaft lobe lift when I was verifying top dead center. So as you can see, it's supposed to be 321. It's 320.5. So that 5/10 thousandths discrepancy, that's really no big deal. That's the same number. It's verified as far as I'm concerned. All right. So what did we do here? When you saw in the video the 319.5, you just saw on the previous slide it's supposed to be 321. So there's a small discrepancy. So what is the discrepancy? It's about 0.5%, 0.468. So what we'll do here is just use some junior high school arithmetic and take the 381 measured, that's where it bottomed out on the collar, and just multiply that times 0.468% and then add that delta. So you get a adjusted max lobe lift. It's probably pretty close to 383. So using the typical 1.6 ratio roller rocker, that'd be about 0.613 maximum lift. That would be at the rocker. So some people might not think that's pretty big cam. I think it's pretty big cam. So recommendations is you get somewhere around 0.38 on a camshaft lobe lift. Go ahead and measure the clearance. And if you don't want to risk it, or you think there's going to be some interference, just go to the vertical link bar lifter and you won't have a problem. And quite frankly, I think that's what most people are doing with kind of these bigger cams. This kind of becomes academic and they're just using these. Anyway, thoughts interesting video would help. Take care.